Why are you posting on social media? If you have a business account here on Instagram, why are you posting, creating all this content, engaging with people, wanting to get followers, having people watch your stories? Do you even know? If you can't answer that question, then you need to stay tuned. What we're going to do is we're going to decide on what your goal is for engagement. Why is your business on social media? Mine is for lead generation, to get people into my funnel. Once I get them into my funnel and into my system, then I have control over nurturing that person through my funnel and finding out where I can provide the best solution for them. And hopefully turn them into a loyal customer. First, we're going to create some flows. Then we're going to create some automations. Then we're going to talk about the strategy on how to use those automations and flows the way that fits your goal. Of course, we have to test about some additional functions that you can add once you get that simple system set up. And we'll talk about how you can monitor all of this in the Kanban system. This is my Instagram account for Ecotech Social. When someone comes to my page and scrolls down and leaves a comment on one of my posts, like this, or if I have a keyword that I have set, it's going to automatically respond to their comment, and it's going to send them a direct message. There's the reply, and say, absolutely, what are you looking for? And I say, I want to learn more. So it's going to send me a little comment, a little response. I've got it set to be either a tip or a joke. And so now I'm going to say, actually, I heard you had a guide. So I'm going to type in the word guide, and it should bring up my lead magnet that I have attached. I have a function created that will send them my lead magnet, but first they have to give me their information. So let's put in a name and an email. And it should say, oh, you forgot your phone number. Yep, it's not going to give it to me until I give them all of the requirements that I have specified in my instructions. Once I do that, it's going to activate that flow that gives them that lead magnet. So now they have it delivered to them right in the bot, and they are in my funnel. Now what happens at this point, not only did they get a comment reply and they got a private message, I'll go to that account and look. He replied, Ecotech replied to your comment on the post. Now when I go to the inbox, I can see that entire conversation. If I click on information for that person, I've got them in my lead generation here on my Kanban board. Got them subscribed to a drip campaign where I have follow-up emails sent to them. And now I can do further marketing with that contact. If I go to my Facebook and look at my business page, and I go down and check out a post that I want to leave a comment on, I'll do this one, and say, super cool. Of course, Meta wants to come up and help me out here. I'm going to leave a comment because I have the comment automation set up on this business page. And so as a user, when I come in here and make a comment, it's automatically going to reply to my comment. It's going to send me a private message. You'll see the notification pop up here in a second. There's the comment reply. And if I go to Messenger, that reply is there. Thanks a bunch. We're glad you think so. I click on the button, takes me to this private conversation. And then if I say, how do I get so? Now it's responding with the default reply on my main chatbot. Going to ask me for the information. This is a function that I've got started. I also have the lead magnet in here that you saw on the Instagram, but I could put in once I put all the information in, it's going to start the function to book an appointment. I went ahead and booked a couple of appointments to show you how once it books the appointment, you can go in here and look at the information for that person. It tells you everything you said in the conversation. It also shows you the appointment. Now, because I booked 2 appointments here, I made a mistake. I want to take this one off. I can cancel that appointment right here from the inbox. Done. Now when I go back and I see that that one has been canceled and this is the only appointment left. That's just one of the many things you can do in here. And you'll see there are a couple of drip campaigns that it was automatically signed up for when I added my information, as well as being put into the pipeline as a lead. The other thing that happens behind the scenes is if you have it set up to go to a Google Sheet, then you can have your leads there as well. The first thing you need to do is make sure your Instagram and your Facebook are connected on Meta and installed on your account. I'll put a link to the videos on how to make sure you set that up correctly and get all the handoffs done correctly. And once everything is connected correctly, you're going to go to Marketing Tools. You have Facebook comment automations, Instagram comment automations, and Instagram story automations. You also have the Facebook ads and the messenger list that you can do, but we're only going to cover the comment automations today. So let's start with Facebook comment automations. First thing we have to do is decide how we want to reply to the comments on our Facebook page and on our Instagram account. We need to make a few flows. We're going to do a public reply and a private reply for Facebook. Then we'll do a public reply and a private reply for Instagram. So that's 4 flows that I made here. And the public reply, you could do it a couple of different ways. I have an OpenAI block. In that block, I just put some instructions in here, how I wanted it to reply to the comments. If you're going to send them a private message, then you need to have something in your public reply that says go check your DMs. If their notifications are on, it'll pop up like you saw on mine, but it's a good idea to put this in there so that they go and check that. Last Facebook comment is here, and then save it to whatever cuff you decide to. We want to remember the conversation and then continue. Of course, always put a text box to display whatever the OpenAI comment reply is. Otherwise, they won't see it. So this is your flow for your public reply. And let's publish that. And if I go look at the private reply, it's a little bit different because we have to have an opt-in. Now, there are a few different ways to do this, but basically you have to have on the private reply, this needs to say Facebook comment reply. It can't be omnichannel. So on this flow, it changed a little bit, put comment reply, and then they have to do something. They have to either click on a button or type in something to opt into your direct message. That's the difference in the public reply flow and the private reply flow. So again, I just made an OpenAI block, gave it some instructions, said that you're continuing from the public comment into a private conversation, and then I have it put a little image of my Sparky character. So I have a public and a private flow. Same thing with Instagram. I made a public, it's just the OpenAI block, give it instructions how you want to answer that comment, how you want to reply to it. If you can give examples, that's great, works much better. And again, I put the check your DMs because I want to send them a private message as well. And don't forget to put your cuff here in a text message so that whatever the OpenAI responded with, it displays to the user. So now I have my 4 flows, my public and private replies for Facebook and for Instagram. For stories, I can go ahead and use one of these same flows if I want to in my automation. So now that I have my flows made for the automations, let's go back and check out the automations. On our Facebook automation, here's our automation. We're going to make it respond with a reply to all posts, no matter who comments on what post, and it's going to be to all comments, no keywords, no special words. We're going to make this for everything. On the private reply, we're going to send this flow, our private reply flow that we built. And on our public reply, we're going to send the public reply with the check your DM. Now you have some other options down here that you can fill in. And you want to set this to a few seconds, or I put it really low so I could test it. But you could do seconds, minutes, hours, random. I usually end up putting it random within 5 minutes on most of mine. And then once this is done, you save it, and now this automation is complete. It has the flows attached to it that you built, and you're done. Now you can go to Marketing Tools, do the same thing for Instagram. Go to your automation that you created, set all of your parameters, pick the flows that you want to, or none. If you don't want to do a private reply, you can do that as well. Like I said, there's a lot of different options that you could choose here. And then if you want to do any of the options down here. So now that you have your automations done, you have your flows created for your automations. Now on the Instagram story, that's a little bit different. Your automation doesn't have as many options. I just put a text here instead of choosing a flow, and I'm going to reply to all users. Or if I'm doing keywords in my stories, telling them to comment a specific word, then I would just choose this one over here and add the words. But I'm going to do all users. And now when somebody comments on my Instagram or Facebook, I have automatic replies going out. And once they get into the DM, there's a couple things that I want to happen. You saw in the demos where I delivered a lead magnet and I collected the user's contact information and I set an appointment. And there's so many different things you can do. Now, if you want a lead magnet delivered in the DMs, you're going to have a flow that does that. And you're going to have a function that calls that flow. So I have a function, lead gen capture function, that collects their information and triggers this flow. So let's go look at the flow. Here's the flow. Once that user information is collected and saved, it also goes to Google Sheet action, sends it to the Google Sheet, and then shows them the PDF so they can download it. But you could put anything here. You could have something that they could purchase right there. You could have a video they could watch. Any way that you want to set that up, it's the same principle. Now, they don't see any of this. They don't see the add the tag, the Google Sheet. They don't see the subscribe to a drip campaign or the delay, but they do see this thank you message after a few seconds. But what happens is they download the PDF, it automatically subscribes them to a drip campaign. And if you want to do a drip campaign, there again, you have to go over to flows and create a flow for each email that you want to send. This is the first one that they get. Congratulations. What's next, right? 2. Okay, this is the onboarding. It's their first post Zoom email. And then number 3 is, now let's install your bot. So let's schedule something with the bot. And you see in the emails, you can use OpenAI to write these as well. Put your cuffs in so it is personalized. But that's how you would do a drip campaign. You have to create flows for all of your emails. Then you have to go to marketing tools, go to drip campaigns, and create a drip campaign. So this is the lead magnet one, where I have those 3 emails. And it says after this much time, they get them immediately, after a few hours, after 3 days. Any of the drip campaigns that you set up, you just create the flow and go in here and just add whatever it is, whatever flow it is, and then the time. And you have to have a drip campaign created to be able to have this option. Otherwise, you won't have the drip campaign option right here until you actually create one. But that's how I have it set up. This flow delivers the lead magnet, does all of these things, gets them hooked up so that I can lead them to another purchase. Now, if you want them to set an appointment, you have to go to marketing, appointment setting, create a calendar. I've already got one here for consultation, and you can set the times when people can book their appointments. And then once you have the calendar created, you have to create a function that books the appointment. So here's the function, books the appointment, collects the data that you need, books it on this calendar. Now, you do not have to have a flow, but if you want to create a flow, like I created a book button flow, I could put that in here. On this one, I don't have one in that function. You saw that I had them on the Kanban boards. So when I get a lead, they end up on this board. Once that lead purchases something, they get moved to this board, and I do that in my flows. I put a pipeline action in to move these people through the boards. That's a whole nother training. And you just have to think one thing at a time. If you want to send broadcasts, once you get people on your list and they've opted in to send them broadcasts, then you could create flows to send either through SMS or email or messenger. It's how you would do newsletters, notifications for your blog posts or YouTube uploads. All that stuff can be done in here. So when you're doing the automations, think about why you are replying to these comments. What is the end goal that you want? What is it you're trying to accomplish? Using social media for your lead generation just makes sense if you set up good comment automation replies and you have a funnel that attaches everything together. Don't just stop there with the comment. Make it all work together. I hope this gave you something to think about. And using Chatbot Builder AI to build out your comment automations in your social media, and then having a strategy to build out functions within your chatbot that will make sense for your funnel, for your overall strategy, is a recipe for success. As always, thanks for joining. Hit the like and subscribe if this is valuable, and I'll see you in the next one.